Without any further ado, let's bring him on. One of the best in the business. USA Today baseball writer Bob Nightengale joining us here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Bob, good afternoon. How are you this afternoon?
Yeah, doing great, thanks.
Good, man. Where are you at today?
I'm actually in Phoenix to watch the Diamondbacks and Cleveland Guardians.
Oh, well, this works out swimmingly. You know, were you? I assume you were at the ball game last night then.
I was. Yeah, great fishing performance last night.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I was watching back here in Ohio, and it almost sounded like the game was being played in church last night. I mean, what was there? They announced about 16,000. Oh my gosh, Bob! I couldn't take it.
Yeah, there must have maybe 7,000 people in the stands, like the old days at the Cleveland Muni.
Right. That's all I can think about. I'm like, boy, you could hear individual conversations last night over the TV. It was incredible. So before we go on the national scene here a little bit, well, I'm so glad we caught you out in Arizona. This worked out really well. The Guards are 64-60, not going to catch Detroit 8.5. They are 3 behind the third place in the wild card, and they've gone on some tears, Bob, where they've scored the heck out of the ball, and they've gone on tears where they've pitched the heck out of it. Last night they got 5 hits and they got the W. And what was your take on Big Gavin last night? He looked like he had things moving all night.
Yeah, he really did. Just had the curveball working, and he gave the Diamondbacks hits. The Diamondbacks loaded up, had like 6 lefties in the lineup. But yeah, he was fabulous. I mean, he owned those guys, and the bullpen came in and did their job. And yeah, I mean, it's too bad they got swept there by Atlanta last weekend,
right?
Or they'd really be right there.
What is your take moving forward, Bob, with this Guardians bullpen now that Clase is officially out of the picture? Obviously Ortiz is gone now too, as far as eating innings as a starter. Some of these guys are going to have to kind of carry the burden a little bit. Do you think they might wear down the last month, or do they think they've got another gear that they can still keep these playoff hopes alive?
I think they keep them alive. I mean, it's tough. Now you got to beat Seattle is an excellent team. The Yankees, the Red Sox. I think Seattle ends up winning that division, so maybe it'd be easier to overtake Houston with the struggles they've had. But yeah, it's tough when you lose 2 pitchers like that, particularly when the best closers in all of baseball. It's tough to overcome that. But kudos to them as far as not giving up and really kind of shrugging their shoulders, like, okay, we'll be fine without them.
Bob, have you heard anything? Has there been any information out there about the latest on that MLB investigation? I know that the Ohio Casino Commission has kind of gotten involved back here closer to home with that MLB investigation. Have you heard anything? It's been really quiet the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, they always keep it quiet, that type of thing. I mean, their suspension runs out, or their lead runs out August 31st. Because of the severity of the charges, I would think it would continue through the regular season. You're talking about, the discipline's pretty simple. If you're guilty, you're banned for life.
Oh, you're gone, right?
Or baseball. So I think that's why they'll take their time with this. I'd be shocked if there's any decision until the off season.
Bob Nightengale is our guest, outstanding baseball writer, longtime baseball writer for USA Today Sports. Check him out on all of your favorite social media platforms. So Tanner Bibbee's going to go tonight for the Guardians, Bob. He's 9-9, a 4.54 earned run average. He hasn't been horrible, but he hasn't been great. When you see Tanner Bibee, you look at his numbers. What are your expectations for him, not only tonight, but moving forward? Because he's kind of looked upon as maybe the ace of this staff, and he's kind of running in mud right now.
Yeah, just one of those things. I mean, I know that Diamondback, Zach Gallen was supposed to be that guy, and he's kind of struggled all year. But you're right. I think the expectations are high for Bibee. You expected him to do more than this. We'll see. Maybe he turns it on here the last, 5-6 weeks. But yeah, for them to have any chance for playoffs, you need him to pitch lights out the rest of the year.
Greatest story in baseball, in my mind, is the Milwaukee Brewers and what they're doing and how they're doing it. 30-plus games over 500. Disappointing playoffs a year ago. The Mets got them. But, man, they can do no wrong, Bob. A couple of ridiculously long winning streaks. What has been the key for them all season long?
Yeah, they used to the little things. I mean, a lot of the things that the Guardians weren't always known for, but just they don't beat themselves, play great defense, scrappy baseball, put a lot of pressure on the opposition. They lead the major leagues in scoring unearned runs, so they take advantage of those mistakes. But I think they force the mistakes too, just with their scrappy style of play. It's refreshing to watch, and I agree. I think it's the best story in baseball.
Yeah, they are fun. They pack that place. Doesn't matter what time, what day. They get after it there. Obviously, I'd like to see the Guardians do something, but I tell you what, if I have to adopt the team, it's going to be the Milwaukee Brewers here for the rest of the year. In the East, Toronto seems to have things covered. Yanks and Red Sox are both 5 games behind the Jays in the division. Does either one of those teams have enough to catch them, or are they just looking at the wild card?
I think they're looking at the wild card, and I think both those teams are too flawed. And the Blue Jays, we've been talking about the Blue Jays for years. It's like they've always kind of underachieved. It's kind of like in Seattle. Like every year, you're okay, here comes Seattle. They don't even make the playoffs. So I think same thing here is that, they got some stars, and finally their big stars are playing like it. So it'll be fun to watch. I mean, I'm sure TV ratings nightmare with the Brewers and Toronto Blue Jays. So rings don't count in the U.S.
The Tigers, we've talked about them a little bit this year, Bob, on the program, and I think they've got some flaws too, but they are 21 games over 500, and they got Tarek Skubal, and they got some seasoned guys, and they got some youth too. I really like Dylan Dingler behind the plate. He's a local kid, played his high school ball here, then went to Ohio State. How far can the Tigers make a run this year?
Well, about a month ago, you had thought, okay, this team could go all the way, at least show 2 World Series. I thought they were definitely the best team in the American League, and then all their warts kind of started showing up. Started playing sloppy baseball. Even Skubal hasn't been the Skubal mold, so they should still be fine. But they're certainly, they certainly have blemishes. There's one of those teams that you can see them get to a World Series, or you can see them also get knocked out the first round. Get them hard to predict with a young team like that.
In the West, Houston and Seattle going to grind it out. Mariners are a game and a half behind the Stros. They got Carlos Correa back about a week or 10 days ago. I don't know if they thought maybe he was the missing piece that would really put them over the top, but I got to believe you think this is going to go right down to the wire, right?
Yeah. The Astros have been blown out a lot lately. You wonder about their pitching. Their pitching is kind of, turned upside down here. They got Correa because the third baseman, Paredes went down. They're not getting that production from the outfield like they hoped. So struggling more than they should. Obviously, they've been there, done that. They got the great, playoff experience since 2016. So, but yeah, right now, I'd probably take Seattle. I think Seattle is very scary. I think if they get in with that starting rotation, got a solid closer, Munoz, they got a chance to go to the World Series.
How many home runs does Cal Raleigh end up with, Bob?
I don't think he'll hit 60, but I'll go high 50s. I want to be stunned by 60.
Yeah.
But, just because he's catching every day and, things like that. But yeah, I think it's a great story. And I do believe it's a toss up. I know people keep saying, well, Aaron Judge is still in the driver's seat. I'm not sure about that, particularly with Judge, now, having to be a DH, not playing the field, Raleigh doing both. As long as the Mariners make the playoffs, I think it's a coin flip, and maybe Raleigh will have the advantage, particularly if he gets close to 60 homers.
Bob Nightengale is our guest, outstanding baseball writer for USA Today Sports. I want to circle back to the Judge and the Yankees for a minute. I really get a kick out of reading the New York papers when the Yankees go in the tubes, or they lose a game they shouldn't, or Booney gets thrown out of a game. I mean, they are very. How do I say this? They're just not a very fundamental baseball team. Physical errors, mental errors. How long do they do they go with Aaron Boone as the skipper? Are they ever going to make a change there or no?
I think they definitely make a change if they don't make the playoffs. If they go out first round, I think it'll be strongly considered. But yeah, they've been a very sloppy team. Even last year when they made the World Series, I thought they were only, if they were in the National League West, might have only been the fourth best team.
Mm-hmm.
Just so flawed, like you said, particularly defensively. We'll see what happens. I think they're better off not re-signing Soto. I think if they signed Soto, it would have been a disaster if they would have gotten any other pieces. So they need Max Fried to turn around. I mean, Fried has not been the ace as he's been. When the last 8 starts, I think he's got over a 6.7 ERA.
Yeah, he has been disappointing to say the least. You mentioned the NL West. Still the hottest ticket in baseball for me. It's the Padres and the Dodgers, and boy, they are going to fight it out. Who comes out on top in the West? I know they have at least one more series with each other coming up here fairly soon. Who gets that job done?
I saw there's the Dodgers. They're getting guys back. They just got Glasnow back. You got Snell back. They're going to get some of these relievers back. He just always seems to have the Padres number. I mean, Padres should have knocked him off last year.
Mm-hmm.
They had him, up 2-1, Game 4 in San Diego. Dodgers had to go to a bullpen game, no Freddie Freeman. Then they lost 8-0 and never scored again the rest of the series. So I still think it's the Dodgers division to lose. I think the Padres get there. Padres are a good team, but just Dodgers seems like, when they play these big games, they know when to turn it on.
We talked about the Brewers, their phenomenal season. I think Tito's done a pretty good job with the Reds. Has there been a surprise team, a surprise storyline for you this year?
Well, I mean, certainly the Brewers. I didn't see them making the playoffs. They did nothing in the off season except for trade their closer and Devin Williams and let Willie Adames go. Did really nothing at the trade deadline. So I think they're the biggest surprise easily. Otherwise, I don't think any other team really jumps out. Disappointments for sure. I think Baltimore, Atlanta, right there in the top as far as the 2 biggest disappointments in baseball. But I don't think there's any other big surprise. Not like the Brewers. I think Cincinnati should be better. I thought they had a chance to win the division.
Me too.
Yeah, so they still have a chance to get the wild card spot, but they got to start playing a lot more consistent. And they've been way too erratic.
The Mets, to be Bob, have been just frustrating. I think they're 8 games over. They're in second place, but man, they've got on some horrible losing streaks. Humongous payroll, unbelievable talent. What has their problem been?
Yeah, I didn't even pick them to win make the playoffs this year. I didn't like their starting rotation at all. When they were, going great guns and had the best ERA for, up until mid-May, I think, how are they doing this? Now reality has kind of set in. Those guys have fallen apart. And, they gave all that money to Soto, and they thought that Soto was going to cure everything. Well, out west, when he was with the Padres for a year and a half, he did nothing for that team. They couldn't wait to get rid of him.
You're right.
And so I think maybe last year with the Yankees was a little bit of a mirage. So, I think they're an okay team, but I'm not sure they're a playoff team. And if they do make the playoffs, I certainly don't see them lasting.
Yeah, I don't either. I just think there's just something amiss there. I can't put my finger on it, but yeah, Soto, the deal, they got their hands tied there. Bob, we appreciate the time as always. Enjoy the 108 or 109 degree temperatures out in Arizona the next couple of days. We'll call upon you here again down the road. I always appreciate your visit. Thanks again.
Sure, my pleasure. Take care.
You bet. There he goes. Bob Nightengale from USA Today Sports, talking a little baseball here on the Sam Bourquin Show.